This is a frozen pizza. Boring, right? But this little stash in the freezer might be one of the most important money moves you ever make. Here's the idea. Life is going to throw you a curveball, a flat tire, a surprise bill, a job that suddenly ends. And on those nights, the kitchen's closed and the fridge is empty. An emergency fund is just a few frozen pizzas you keep ready, money set aside, on ice, for exactly those uh-oh moments.
Oh, wait, so I'm supposed to keep money frozen?
Frozen, untouched, and ready. Not for a normal Tuesday. For the day life surprises you. Stick around and I'll show you how many pizzas to keep, where to freeze them, and how to start even if your freezer's pretty bare right now. First, what is this frozen stash really? First, what actually is an emergency fund? It's simple, a stash of cash you set aside for the unexpected and nothing else. Remember our last video, where we sliced your paycheck like a pizza and froze a slice for future you? This is what that frozen slice grows into, a little stack of pizzas waiting in the freezer. It's not your spending money, it's not your investing money, it's your oh no money, and it has exactly one job, to be there the day you need it.
So it just sits there, doing nothing?
It looks like it's doing nothing. But a frozen pizza in the freezer is doing the most important job of all, waiting. The peace of mind it buys is the whole point. Here's what one flat tire can really cost. So why bother freezing pizzas at all? Because without them, one bad night can turn into a long, expensive month. Picture two people. Both get a $400 car repair out of nowhere. The first one has frozen pizzas ready. She grabs one, pays the bill, done. A total non-event. The second one has an empty freezer, so that $400 goes on a credit card. And now it's quietly growing interest, and the next little surprise lands right on top of it. One curveball becomes a snowball.
Oof, same exact problem, totally different stress level.
That's the whole magic. An emergency fund doesn't stop the curveballs. It turns them from disasters into mild annoyances. That's not boring. That's freedom. But what actually counts as an emergency? Now, the trick is being honest about what an emergency actually is, because the freezer only works if you don't rate it for fun. Quick test. A real emergency is unexpected, necessary, and urgent. All three. The car you need to get to work suddenly dies. That's all three. That's a frozen pizza night. A concert ticket, a great sale, a trip you've been eyeing. Those can be wants, and wants live in a different slice, not the emergency freezer.
So a flash sale on something I've always wanted is not an emergency?
Sorry, not an emergency, even when it feels like one. The freezer is for my life just broke, not this is a really good deal. Protect those pizzas. So how many pizzas do you actually need? Okay, the big question, how many pizzas? How big should this fund actually be? Start small, so you actually start. Your first goal is one pizza, a starter fund of about 1 month of basic expenses or a simple round number to aim at, just enough for the everyday surprise. Then you build toward a full freezer, 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. Notice that word. Expenses, not income. We're covering your needs, not your whole lifestyle. Let's make it real. Just as an example, say your essential bills, rent, food, the basics, come to $2,000 a month. Your starter pizza is around $2,000. A 3-month freezer is $6,000, and a fully stocked 6-month freezer is $12,000. That's a target. It's a number, not a mystery.
12,000? That sounds like a lot of pizza.
It is, and you do not build it overnight. 3 to 6 months is the finish line, not the starting line. How many months you keep is your call. A steady paycheck might be fine with 3, while bumpy income might want closer to 6. Now, where do you freeze them? Now, where do you keep these pizzas? Because the spot matters almost as much as the pizzas themselves. You want a real freezer, a separate, high-yield savings account. 3 things make it perfect. It's kurskich backing krieger quaking kautika autoway. Hitchkiken cake, it's safe. You can reach it in a day or two, and it earns a little interest while it waits. The key word is separate. Keep it out of sight from your everyday spending so you don't accidentally eat the emergency stash on a normal weekend.
Why not just leave it in my checking account with everything else?
Because that's like leaving the pizza out on the kitchen counter. It'll get eaten by Wednesday. A separate account adds a tiny bit of friction, and that friction is exactly what keeps the fund alive. And where you should never keep it. But chicken nasiert. And here's where not to keep it, because two common mistakes can quietly weaken a good fund. Mistake 1. Putting your emergency fund in the stock market. That's the oven, not the freezer. Investing is great for long-term money, but the market can be down on the exact day your car breaks. Emergency money needs to be cold and ready, not cooking. Mistake 2. Stuffing it under the mattress as cash. It feels safe, but it just sits there while prices slowly drift up around it. A high-yield freezer keeps it ready and lets it earn a little along the way.
So, not too risky, but not just sitting there either. Kind of a middle spot?
Exactly. Safe and reachable, with a little growth. Boring on purpose. For emergency money, boring is the whole feature. What if your freezer's totally empty? Alright, what if your freezer is totally empty right now and money's tight? Good news, you start with a single slice. You don't need $1,000 this week. You need to start the habit. Even a small amount per paycheck quietly stacks up. A slice at a time becomes a whole pizza before you know it. And do the one move that makes it automatic. The same trick from our budgeting video. The day you get paid, send a little to the freezer first before you can spend it. Pay the freezer like a bill.
So, I really just start with whatever I can spare?
Whatever you can spare, on repeat, on autopilot. The person who freezes a slice every single payday already knows exactly how to fill a whole freezer once their income grows. The habit is the real win. So when do you finally eat one? So, you finally got pizzas in the freezer. When do you actually eat one? Only on a true emergency night. The car, the surprise medical bill, the gap when a job ends. That's what it's for. Don't feel guilty using it. But here's the part people miss. The moment the emergency passes, your number one job is to refill the freezer. Before the new gadget, before the upgrade, restock the pizzas first.
Wait, so using it isn't failing?
Using it is the fund doing its job perfectly. The only real mistake is forgetting to refill, eat, then restock. That's the whole cycle, and it gets easier every time you go through it. Here's what it really keeps on ice. Here's the shift that changes everything. An emergency fund isn't money you're wasting by leaving it cold. It's money with a job, and that job is peace of mind. Those frozen pizzas are why you can sleep through a storm, take a smart risk, or walk away from a bad situation without panicking. Quiet confidence. That's what the freezer really stores.
So it's basically a stress delete button?
Pretty much. It's the difference between oh no and oh well. And once you felt that, you will never want an empty freezer again. Quick recap. An emergency fund is a stash of frozen pizzas for life's curveballs. Keep them in a separate, high-yield freezer, not the oven, not the counter. Aim for one pizza to start, then 3 to 6 months of expenses. Only eat one for a real emergency and refill it right after. Do that, and the surprise that used to wreck your month turns into a shrug. That's the whole game. If this finally made emergency funds click for you, a like genuinely helps the channel. Quick note, this is education, not financial advice. Always do your own research before any money decision. And subscribe. Every week, we cook up money like this. No fear, no jargon. In the comments, what's a surprise expense that hit you out of nowhere? Let's hear it. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
If something finally clicked, tap subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.